your engine.
Okay, so welcome to my second practice at Road Atlanta with the Formula 3.5 Renault. And so tonight I figured I would do something a little daring. Don't know if you watched the first practice, but last night I was running laps using a setup that I got from my virtual racing school practice at Road America last week. And so I went out tonight and I looked at their tutorial, which was excellent, by the way, on Road Atlanta. And so last night I was doing a 210 even with that setup. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to take the setup that I got from my subscription to VRS for this track, which is hot off the presses. And I've literally just watched it, literally not driven any laps with that setup. And so what I thought I would do is I would actually take and without any pre-prep whatsoever, would take and let you watch me try this out for the very first time. Let me load the setup. The only change I'm going to make is to bring it in line with what I did last night, which is to bring the fuel down to about 2 gallons. And these setups are proprietary to VRS, so I'm not gonna, any more than what you just saw, not gonna share or anything like that. I'm not really even gonna talk about how I'm driving the track, although I will do that a little bit, depending on the results. But the whole point of this is to see if their tutorial and their setup really is worth the money I'm paying. So with that, all right, let's see, let's go ahead. I don't believe there's any other drivers in here, and we're going to go ahead and hit the practice button. I'm a little nervous about this, but like I said, last time I did exactly a 110, and I did go in.
We're almost out of fuel, but it looks like we'll make it to the
I
end.
did go out after that session and look at it and realize that the fast time actually was in the 105, so I was abysmally slow, even though I was almost matching the fastest guy in that practice session last night. So I'm going to get this warmed up, and then we're going to see if that tutorial really does help.
1 minute 12.333.
One thing is for certain, I cannot downshift as fast as they can.
You have about 1 lap of fuel left. One minute 25.495. One minute 10.855.
Okay, so I think the one thing we have definitively proven is I am not as good as their driver. And honestly, watching their tutorial, it looked deceptively easy. So let's see, let's try that again. Now that we've got a few laps under our belt. I mean, we are already down to a 110, and I was close to making it my fast time last night. Sorry. Probably should not be drinking while recording. I do think one of the things that I do not do as well as their driver does is take curbing. Definitely do not have that confidence. And that really always makes me slow. I always find it difficult to do the really late braking that a lot of people do. one of the things I did learn from the tutorial was that I was drastically going way too slow in this turn. Yeah, see, that's yet another point that the tutorial actually says you can take plenty of curb there, and when I do it, it's Spin City. Honestly, I was totally expecting that the couple of places that I saw where I was a lot slower, that I would actually be in the 108s, 107s easily, and that has proven not to be the case.
1 minute 27.083.
Well, look, what I have to say that I am actually very disappointed. Um, Even though these feel like great laps and the car handles fantastic, it just doesn't seem like I'm really benefiting very much from the setup, especially at low fuel. Um, like I said, I honestly figured that it was going to be something related to gearing, maybe a couple of corners that I needed to adjust the gear I was going through with the speed, but for the most part, um, I'm I feel like I should be gaining at least a second based on the way I was driving the car last practice session, and it's just really not any different. That is kind of. Let's flip that back to auto clutch. I don't know if that really has an impact on this car because of the type of car it is. Yeah, maybe I won't do that. Um, I I guess I'm going to have to really go back and do some more analysis of my actual lap times compared with theirs and see why I'm really going too slow. Um, huh. Let's give it a few more chances. It's definitely me. I mean, I watched the tutorial. I watched them go through, and this is the setup. So obviously, it's not them. Overshot that.
One minute 9.649. One minute 9.223. minute 9:42.55.
So there definitely is some time on the last two corners before you go over the hill. Probably about 4/10 or so, but that's barely going to get me into the 108. So I think we pretty much call this one a case of driver skill more than anything else. Probably not going through a lot of the slower turns fast enough, if that makes any sense. Probably not exactly taking the perfect line, and just in generally not being able to have the reflexes to be able to do that. Other than that, I the only thing I can think of that there's something else with this car that I'm not familiar with that does something to make it go faster. Maybe a push to pass or a DRS function or something. We could figure that out pretty quickly here by going into our options. That would be consistent with this kind of car. We do have a DRS button, so that wonder if that has anything to do with it. That would be kind of interesting. Let's see, DRS button could I use for DRS? Well, we don't have wipers on this thing, so let's use that button right there and see if that is something that we can actually use. Seems kind of odd that it would be, but never can tell. Not certain what would be considered a DRS zone on this track. Probably, definitely the main back straight. Okay, track is definitely not over there. Let's try that again. Now let's try a little bit less traction control. Not sure that actually does anything.
1 minute 9.879.
And no, we were only just maybe going to break into the 108s on that one. So, yes, definitely going to call this one a case of it is a very good setup. It is very solid. It has the potential, I know, to go 2, 3 seconds faster at the very least, but I do not know how to make that happen. So with that, I think I will call this practice session done. Um, so far, the rest of these guys have not put in time, so I do not know what they're heading for. And this race actually for tonight would occur in about 20 minutes, and I'm going to see how many people actually would show up for this. And if it does, in fact, have more, if it becomes an official race, let me put it that way, and has enough people in it, I think I will give it a shot with this setup. But yeah, that is going to be tricky trying to get down to really good fast times with this car. I can see that now because it just takes an amazing amount of reaction time and reflexes and everything to be able to drive a car like this. I really do have the utmost respect for some of these guys that drive Formula cars um, without even the G loading and everything, just straight up being able to navigate that quickly. So with that, I hope that proved informative. Like I said, I would like to plug the Virtual Racing School service, VRS. If you do a search on Google, you should be able to find it. It has helped me with a number of different cars, different tracks, become a little bit faster, and just by knowledge and some setup uh, tweaking and some setup help with a lot of cars, especially the more complicated cars. They don't do every single series, and you may not find every option that you're looking for, but definitely check it out. Nobody's paying me to say that, so I'm just pointing it out. And with that, shutting down for the night. Thank you. Have a good one.